Hey everyone, Avatar Guy here. We've had some kind of cool news this week because we've had the D23 Expo out in Anaheim, California, and we've got Avatar news about the toys, a sneak peek of Avatar Reckoning the game, and most importantly, we've got the showcase with the cast and crew, with some of the cast and crew. Today, I'm joined by my producing partner and the co-owner of the Avatar Guy channel, Ash and Owen.
Hey everyone. Hey.
And basically, we're going to go over all of these things that have just come out at D23 together. We're going to discuss them. And hopefully, if you like this format, we'll do more of these in the future. All right. Okay. I think that's pretty good for the.
It sounds good. Let's get going.
Okay. So I guess the first big one is the toys that Todd Mcfarlane showed, which is a whole bunch of. I mean, they were already previewed at SDCC, right? He showed us a few of the toys then. The Jake and Neytiri's Ikran.
It was like two Ikrans. Yeah. It was Jake's and Neytiri's Ikrans, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, and now we've got way more. So there's how many is there? There's 3, 6, 9, 12.
Let's say,
there's 15 new toys that they show.
Yeah, look like it.
And I guess some of them, I think personally, some of them I think are more exciting than others, but I guess that's also to do with the price point of them. So, the huge ones that are obviously I think Seze and...
Yeah, it's got some landscape with it.
Yeah. I think the three that struck out to me were, I like the Ikran of both of Neytiri and Jake, but I also like the amp suit. That for me, I feel like the amp suit's the one where I'm yeah, I need this. One of my favorite things was some of the promotional art that came out of the toys. I think that was pretty cool. So there's that big poster of the amp suit. So do you want to move over to the Avatar Reckoning trailer? So we got a new trailer for the mobile MMORPG Avatar Reckoning that's supposed to be coming out soon. And we're going to watch the trailer now and comment on it. So we get this cool opening of Pandora.
Yeah.
And it's huge.
And that's a desert biome. That's a new area, it looks like.
Yeah. Yeah, look, the desert. This bit that looks like Fortnite.
Loads of people were saying this was like Fortnite, that bit. And you've got your loadout like Fortnite as well, I guess. Weapons and stuff.
Those weapons make me think of aliens. The designs.
Yeah, I can see that.
And then Home Tree.
Home Tree, yeah.
The Hammerhead.
I mean, it looks good for a mobile game, right?
Oh, yeah. I think it
the graphics. But
this bit makes me laugh.
Can you actually imagine this happening in the film? That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't think... Oh, yeah. And it's first person there a bit.
Yeah. And then it closes with the same thing.
It's a multiplayer MMO. It's I
think it's a mobile MMORPG. I'm not 100% certain just yet. It's a mobile game, and you can play single player or you can play with other people.
Yeah, I mean, if it does have a battle royale mode, it could do pretty well, especially if it's not mobile, I guess. So what gets me though is it's first person, aiming, shooting on a mobile seems very difficult to me. I'm not sure how they get around that, to be honest. Maybe I'm just a boomer now, and all the kids are pretty good at using the mobile. But
yeah, people are going to obliterate you on it. I think that would actually be hilarious if we do some streams of playing that, and I'll just be in the background shouting at you to kill those people.
You know what we shouldn't do, which would be funny if we did. You plug in a mouse and keyboard, use a virtual mobile. Play.
I think a lot of people do that.
Yeah,
I think a lot of people do that.
It's kind of scummy, isn't it? But
yeah, but I mean, I think this speaks to the quality that kind of James Cameron and Lightstorm must, demand for when they create a product. That this looks really good for a mobile game, and I think there was other games. I remember there was another mobile game that came out, and they basically canned that. And I wonder if that was to do with the fact that they felt like it wasn't high enough in terms of the quality that they wanted.
And potentially it could make some decent money for them as well, because I've seen all the skins and stuff they have.
Oh yeah,
probably be buying those, like just like Fortnite, I guess.
Yeah, the character customization looks amazing. I don't like the whole the amount of money that games can pull out of people, but I can imagine them being able to the massive amount of customization. Like they do a DLC of the Meccaina. So if you want to be one of those, you've got to pay extra. We can move on to the kind of the big showcase piece, which is the showing the showing of the scenes and the attendance of the kind of the cast and the crew. So for you, those of you who don't know, they showed Jim Skyped in from New Zealand, and John Landau, his producing partner, was there, and so was the cast. And so on the stage there was the cast. There was the old generation cast. So there was Sigourney Weaver, Stephen Lang, there was and Zoe Saldana and Sam Worthington, Jake and Neytiri. They were there, and then there were the new cast, who were the younger ones who were there, play their children, and that was Trinity Bliss, Bailey Bass, Jack Champion, and Jamie Flatters, who were playing like Netiam and the other children. So they were there, and they were there too. And I think for me, and they also showed 12 minutes of footage.
Yeah, so we didn't actually get to see any of this.
Right, but we did get descriptions of the footage, right? So we've had quite in-depth descriptions of the footage.
So they got to see 6 scenes from Avatar 2 in 3D at the event. So I think it was a crowd of like 500 people got to see it.
I think it was more than 500. I think it was a few thousand. But yeah, the fact that they got to see that. I guess before we talk about what is actually contained within those scenes and what was said, it seems like the reactions so far have been quite positive. They talked about how amazing it looked, how the 3D looked unlike anything that was appeared in any other film recently, which is no surprise. It's James Cameron 3D is completely on another level from other 3D. I think this is the same footage they showed at Cine Europe. So we know they showed 12 minutes of footage there as well. And I think that this might be the same footage.
I think it could be. Like, they wouldn't want to show like the whole movie scattered across different places so that people could actually clue it all together and actually make the full movie out of loads of the different descriptions. So what do you think about some of the actual tweets we saw on the reactions?
I liked the one that by I think Matt Shimkowitz. He said that Avatar 2 made the rest of the things they'd seen there look out of date, and it was disrespectful to show the Little Mermaid footage in the same building as what James Cameron's done. I thought that was hilarious.
No, I mean, the first movie was like 10 years ahead of its time, right? It's like it feels like movies today are just catching up to the CGI in 2009 Avatar. So yeah, I can see why Disney didn't put it front and center, show it publicly. This is how good Avatar 2 is. Now here's our normal things.
Yeah, here's our TV shows where it's obvious green screen or it's obviously the volume, when James Cameron's also showing what things are going to probably look like in 10 plus years time.
Yeah.
I think I agree with you on that. Then there's also the negative, there was a couple of negative reactions, but I would say that I think they came from people who were probably there to see Star Wars and Marvel.
Yeah, but for those who don't know, it was a panel with Star Wars, Marvel, and 20th Century Fox, and Avatar was at the very end of a 3-hour panel, which was meant to be 2 hours. So yeah, it was being shown to Marvel and Star Wars fans mainly, because let's be honest, it's going to be those people hyped for D23 and those sort of people going, they're not there for Avatar, they're there for Marvel, and they're 30 minutes overdue, and they've got to watch 30 minutes of Avatar. They didn't really appreciate what they were seeing.
There was also some skepticism around the frame rate, but I feel like that remains to be seen. I don't want to prejudge that before I've seen it, because the examples I've seen of the frame rates that he's going to be using, I've only thought were good. And then I guess this is where we should talk about a massive spoiler warning for anyone who's watching who doesn't want to be spoiled. And that's that they did actually describe a bunch of scenes that were shown.
So it was a Slash Film were at the panel, right? And they did the best write-up we could find of the actual scenes. So they went to the website and did a blog post or an article, which just they gave quite a long description for each of the 6 scenes. So
Yeah.
we're just going to go through those.
So like the first scene, and this is the one I think where people have been referring to it as like looking into an aquarium. That's how real it looked, was that they have this huge 3D CGI sequence. Maybe it's even similar to the one we saw in the teaser where it's Kiri under the water. That, you know, it's the kids swimming and then the kids use the sign language to communicate under the water.
Yeah.
They go deeper underwater and they see, I guess they wanted to hit them with that amazing visual landscape.
It's like the money. It's like the big shot from the film, which is going to blow people's minds, right? It probably is the one from the teaser trailer, right? Where's Kiri?
I could see that it is.
No, I can imagine, like, you know, like the free new underwater technology and stuff, like, and Cameron talking smack really about Aquaman, saying that the underwater visuals were not up to his standard.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is putting everything into this scene for sure.
I mean, yeah, he wanted to show them what actual underwater motion capture looks like because we've never seen it before. It's just not been done. It's not been possible. And then the next sequence has been, which one was from the Empire magazine image, where it's Kiri in the lab with Spider and some of the others, and that this is where it does get spoilers, is that apparently that Grace is actually in the tank, and that Kiri says "Hi, Ma" to her, and then hugs the tank. And that they speculate as well that the fact that Spider talks about sometimes it's not good to know who your father is, which again, if it is Quaritch, that's a huge spoiler.
I don't think it's going to be Quaritch.
I mean, I don't know if he's talking about not wanting to know them.
No, I mean that sounds like a huge thing. So did we know? Was it public before that Kiri was Grace's daughter?
Well, we don't know what she means technically by "Hi, Ma." Like, it could be that she just had a hand in creating her rather than it being actually her mother.
No, that is true. It's true. It could just be like they're taking her DNA and genes.
Yeah. But no, we didn't know anything. We didn't. It was only speculation as to the actual relationship between Grace and Kiri. We know obviously they're played by the same actress, Sigourney Weaver, but we didn't actually know anything in terms of this plot. Should we jump towards the third scene, because this is the one that I'm most like. If I could see any of the 6 that they showed, this is the one that I would want to see, which is like some kind of action sequence in the forest, and it's at night and it's raining, and it's Quaritch basically hunting the children, and they've captured the kids, and then Neytiri basically arrives and just like kills a bunch of. Like, it seems like there's a huge firefight between a group of Na'vi and a group of the recombinants, led by Quaritch.
It looks pretty brutal as well, right? I don't know if I remember reading somewhere else that you get to see. Well, I'm not sure how badly you get to see this. So like Neytiri shoots an arrow through a recom's head. It like goes through the skull. It seems pretty like much further than anything we have in the original Avatar. Like, you do see arrows go through people's like chests and stuff, but to actually go through like a head seems almost on the gore territory. So
I mean, it feels like, especially if you've just watched 2 hours of Star Wars and Marvel, to even see something of that level. Like, when you think about what you see in those kinds of movies versus even what you see when, say, Quaritch gets hit with the arrows in the chest, I don't know if they ever really show things to that level. I was going to say the other thing that made me laugh was the fact that Quaritch apparently calls her Mrs. Sully, which gave me Agent Smith vibes.
Oh yeah, it gave me Agent Smith vibes as well, because obviously Agent Smith in the Matrix, it gets killed by Neo a bunch of times and comes back again and again, and obviously Quaritch has come back to life. It's almost like Quaritch might be able to just keep going in and dying and then coming back. It's like, that's proper scary. That means he's also scary. It doesn't have to be afraid of death. He can literally just
keep going and never stop unless they destroy whatever it is that's allowing him to do that. Which maybe, I guess on one hand, it could be that Quaritch literally represents humanity on Pandora, and that only once they've rid the Pandora of humanity could they ever even hope to get rid of Quaritch.
It's Agent Smith vibes again.
If Quaritch lives up to even half as good as a bad guy in the sequels as Agent Smith did, then then I'll be happy. I mean, he was already a fantastic bad guy, but I feel like this could just take him to a whole another level. But this could potentially make him iconic. And then over to the fourth scene is one that I think that James Cameron talked about before. It seems that and that we saw in the teaser where they talk about that this is their home, and that the family is their fortress. And I guess it blows out one of my theories, is that one that I kept saying was that the Omaticaya get destroyed, whereas this seems to show that actually they choose to flee because they're being hunted. Other than that, then there's the final couple of scenes that these ones seem to these ones aren't as detailed or the script, but it's the talking about the Metcaina tribe and the fact that they show the Metcaina tribe. They show Kate Winslet and Cliff Curtis's characters of Ronal and Tonavari, and that Tonavari is telling them about maybe the Tulkun way is what I think that they actually mean when they're reporting that. So it's them talking to the kids, and that it kind of also leads into the very last scene of that. They're showing them the culture of the Metcaina. So they're introducing the Omaticaya children to the Metcaina culture, and then end it with that quote of, if you want to live here, you have to ride, which also kind of goes back to the whole Jake riding the Ikran,
Yeah. So it's like the Elu is their version of the Ikran, right?
Yeah. Because that's one of the things, is that for everyone, even if you've seen the remaster recently when you see the film, and again, both Jim and John have talked about the fact that they want each film to be able to stand on their own two legs as well as being part of a bigger saga, that if you've never seen the first, you still get this kind of introduction to the world, but through the Metcaina's eyes rather than just through the Omaticaya's eyes. So it works on works on two levels.
They want you to swim with the Elu to appreciate the ocean, I think. Because Cameron really appreciates the ocean and wants everyone to see it. I think it makes sense for a tribe, for a water tribe, to force everyone to live here, to spend time in the ocean and appreciate it. Yeah,
that's basically what they're saying. If you want to live here, you have to appreciate the environment in which we live.
Did I read something somewhere that that a kid gets made fun of for sort of affiliating themselves with the new
I think there was like a discussion about, there was a little bit of kind of like tension about the fact that they don't want them to get too close to the other kids, which will make sense considering that if they're fleeing and things like that, which also might hint at some of the tensions that we're going to see play out in the films.
Yeah, makes sense. Also, I think the fact that they have 5 fingers instead of 4, some of the Sully kids. So,
if some people came to your community and they had these differences, and you knew that they weren't necessarily 100% like Na'vi, and that they were descended from this person who came from the sky, you would certainly think they were
about dreamwalkers. What do they call them? The demons, something.
Yeah, something like that. I think that this is going to definitely be explored, because it's going to be hard for them to say, "Oh, we're good," but also there's people that look like us who are also, the recoms they're bad.
Yeah,
it'd be difficult for them to kind of understand that. I think that Sam Worthington said that I think it was either during the show or after it when they were asking questions, that he mentions the fact that the film is basically about like protecting your family and how far you go to protect that family. I think we've heard that before, and it's going to be, I guess, reiterated. One thing that surprised me was how much of the reporting from the Expo, at least around Avatar, was kind of incorrect. So one tweet said that they've started filming Avatar 4, and we know that that's not true. If you actually listen to what James Cameron said to the crowd, he said that they filmed 2 and 3 and they filmed a little bit of 4, and that's not new knowledge. We all knew that already. He's talked about it before. John Landau's mentioned that before. Yet someone tweeted that Avatar 4 has begun filming, and again, we know that isn't true, and that Avatar 4 and 5 will be filmed together in a very similar way to Avatar 2 and 3. The reason they started filming a little bit of Avatar 4 was so that they could film the children when they were still young, because we know there's also going to be a time skip. So it just kind of, and then there's been a bunch of other things as well where, people don't know names, etc. And it just seems to me like if your job is to, be there to report on this, you should be able to report it accurately, which is not the case. And I've seen it repeated by a lot of people talking about how Avatar 4 has now begun. Okay, so I guess the next question that comes up is, Why wasn't there a trailer? And I know a lot of people were saying that they expected there to be a trailer at D23.
Me included.
Yeah, and there wasn't. My guess. I think I've said this. I said this on one of the other podcasts with the other people. Is that I think that they're going to show the trailer with the remaster. Maybe it'll still come out between now and the remaster coming out on the 23rd. But if I feel like if they were going to show that trailer to the world, they would have shown it at D23.
No, I'm thinking the same because they did the exact same thing with the first trailer, right? With the teaser trailer, they showed it in front of Doctor Strange, exclusive to cinemas for a couple of days, and then released the trailer online. So I think we're probably going to see the same thing again. I was fully expecting it to be released yesterday, but it wasn't. So I guess we've got to wait still.
Yeah, I think that I think this is a kind of part of the broader marketing plan, which I've seen again a lot of discussion about whether this is good or bad. I don't know. I personally think that I wish we'd had more Avatar content. I feel like they could have gone harder with how they're promoting it, but maybe we'll see that ramp up as we get closer. And maybe they're waiting until after the remaster releases before they really start, pushing everything out.
Yeah, what do we have? We have 3 months now, so 3 months and 5 days. So, yeah. I guess when people like the cast start going on talk shows and that sort of thing, we're going to actually see like the marketing in full force, so, like TV spots everywhere in sports events. It just plastered. The World Cup's going to be on, right? So hopefully, maybe there'll be like Avatar: The Way of Water banners around the World Cup, soccer, football, in the stadium itself. That'd be funny.
That would be hilarious. Doing the trailer like at half time.
When you're actually watching the game, they have like Coca-Cola and stuff on the pitch, like around the edge of the pitch, just out of the way of water, just everywhere.
If they have that, God.
You'll see
that's the perfect way to that will get everyone to know about it 100%. There's been a huge amount of information that we've covered today. I think that we're hopefully going to cover the High Ground comics in a future video, and I think that if you guys want more of this kind of content, then definitely let us know. I think that I would love to hear what you all thought about all of the things that have happened at D23. So what do you think of the toys? What do you think of the game? Are you excited to play it? What did you think about the descriptions of the scenes that we saw? And what do you think about the marketing? Is it enough? Is it too little? Is it just right? I think that would be really good for people to reach out and tell us. As always, I think we want to thank the Based and Robust Network, and we thank you for watching.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.